Yo, what's going on, guys? And I'm officially back recording with another video. I know it's been quite a while since my last video and all, but of course, like I said, that I don't really keep a consistent uploading schedule. But today, I'm gonna do a review on a figure that I really wanted, and really, like, as soon as it was revealed and I saw a review on it and heard good things about it, I really wanted it. But it is the SH Figuarts Romance Dawn Monkey D. Luffy. Now, of course, I am a huge fan of the One Piece franchise. It's my favorite anime ever. I mean, currently, I haven't watched a full run of it. Of course, I'm still on my first run of watching One Piece on episode 599. So I'm in the middle of Punk Hazard, but that's just because Netflix is slowly adding more seasons. They recently added Punk Hazard, literally like last week. And yeah, I found this guy at Walmart. I know this is a newer figuarts, but yeah, I really want to get more of the One Piece figuarts. I really want to get the Captain Kidd, the Ace. I really want to get the Romance Don Zoro because it's way better than the time skip version of Zoro. And this is the third version of a figuarts Luffy we've seen out of the current One Piece line. Of course, I do know that figuarts had an older One Piece line, but yeah, they made this pre-time skip Romance Dawn Luffy. They made the time skip Luffy, and then the Gear 5 Luffy, of course. And overall, this figure, based on just overall, it might be the best version of the figuarts Luffy. And yeah, let's uh dive into the figure. So overall, the figure comes with some pretty good accessories that are pretty accurate to Romance Dawn Luffy. There we go. So this guy, you'll notice he has very thin arms, some very big feet when you look at. And yeah, this overall fits the aesthetic of Luffy. I think it matches him very well. Very thin, very small. I mean, it definitely works for him. But first, I kind of want to get into posability. Now, this guy is very posable, and they actually fixed some of the QC issues. Some, I don't know, but some of the really bad issues was the knee joint, and they kind of made it so that you could actually get a little bit more of a solid knee joint. Of course, there was a big issue on the Gear 5, I think it was, where this whole leg assembly would kind of pop off and stuff. You couldn't rotate it that much. Of course, they did kind of fix it. Overall, yeah, and then, now this guy has no problem standing whatsoever, and I'm gonna just move this back a little. And, very posable, of course, like I said. Got a lot of range of motion, of course. And let's start off. I think I'll start off with the overall accessories. So right out of the box, he comes with the this smiling head, this smiling head, and the fist hands. Then, for his faces, he comes with, in total, 4 faces. He comes with a smiling, comes with a like open mouth smiling. He comes with a eating head scan that matches with the meat accessory. And then we have the crash out face. You can kind of see there, the veins are kind of popping out a bit. His veins are kind of sticking out. And you can see when the One Piece characters have their eyes styled like this, you already know they're crashing out on their opponent, you can tell. He also comes with a separate, of course, you can't have Luffy without his good old straw hat. And of course, it does come with a separate head assembly to fit the straw hat on the head. We'll go over that later. And then hands-wise, he comes with a pointing hand, 2 open grip hands, 2 more spread out, 2 gripping hands with more spread out, and then 2 fists that come, and then of course we have a meat eating, a meat holding hand. So size-wise of the figure, Luffy is standing at a solid... Alright, a solid... From the top of the head, he's sitting at a solid 5.5 inches. I'm thinking more of... To the top of the hair, it's more of like a 5 point... It's more, I'd say probably solid like 5 point, maybe 6 or 7 inches. Here he is, next to the anime heroes, Trafalgar Law. Oh, here, let's just... Here he is next to the anime heroes, Sanji. I think we hear quality on this. Yeah. Here he is next to the anime heroes, Trafalgar Law, Sanji. Of course, it is pre-time skip Sanji. We got Inosuke. And for the final one, we have another figuarts of one of the big 3 main characters, Naruto. And you can kind of see here, these 2 scale pretty well. They're like neck to neck, basically. So, starting things off, I'm going to quickly show how the meat accessory kind of works. So I'm going to quickly exchange the fist out to the meat holding hand. And yeah, you'll notice the pegs to switch to hands are very small. But that's just because he has a very, very thin hand assembly, or very, very small arm assembly. Of course, generally you want to make the wrist a bit smaller so the hand doesn't kind of stick out. That's kind of like the figuarts kind of style. So once you have that, you'll notice, boom, you got the hand in. Now with the meat, obviously, the hand is kind of stuck in this position. In this, you can't really get it. However, this end pulls out. You just slide that bad boy through the hole in the hand. Then, if you turn it to a certain point, there you go. Now I got Luffy holding up his meat stick. Or the little meat. Of course, if you want to make it even more, of course you can just do this, and yeah. And speaking of changing heads, that's what we're about to do now. We're going to change the head assembly. So basically we're going to switch everything about the head. And we're going to change it to the one where the straw hat is compatible to go on. So to start things off, of course, you just want to you're going to take the head assembly, or the hair piece off, take the head that you put on. And then one thing that I would keep in mind is that on this one, the non-compatible straw hat head, is that there's a little piece of, so here, let me just remove this real nice. There's a little tuft of hair that only goes on the head scan, or the head. And you'll notice, yeah, it's like it's a perfect fitting slot right there. And it only is compatible on this one. I did check. I I looked to see if it would work on the other one, and it didn't really fit. So yeah, you want to be careful to not lose that when switching the heads around and stuff. Of course, very small pieces, so you'll notice. You can tell the difference because this one has a more round head with a more different. And also, you want to be very careful the hair piece that also the hair of the hair piece is. So then I'll just randomly select the face. Let's go for the open mouth head scan. Let's go for the open mouth smiling. The open mouth head. There it is. Yeah. So then you just line it up nice. And one of my least favorite things with the figure is how hard this part is. So this is made out of very soft material, which very almost rubbery like material. I know. Which makes it generally a little bit harder to get the head scan or the hair piece on top of the head scan because you have to line it up with these holes. Oh yeah, and as I said, this is probably like my least favorite part of the figure, just the fact that this part alone, especially if like you want to like do stop motion stuff, you want to kind of like animate Luffy's hat, or you want to have like a part in your stop motion where like Luffy, and you know, kind of stop motion, you're kind of on a time frame and stuff. Yeah, but once you got that, you got this look, but of course, you don't want it kind of just sitting like that, so of course you take our little straw hat. You'll notice right there's a little tab that matches up with the back of the head. You just want to make sure you line that up correctly. And, yeah. Oh. Now, I think another issue I have with the figure is the fact that the straw hat does not like to stay on. I'm trying to get it on nicely, but I'm generally just trying to. I think I got it on good enough that will stay. Okay, yeah. So this is what he looks like with the straw hat on. Looks like a nice regular old Luffy. Looks pretty nice. I really like it like this. But now I think it's time to get into articulation. So articulation wise, I can look back that far. Can go down pretty far with that neck joint. Head scan can of course go like just like I said, of course. Yeah, hat doesn't like to stay on. Of course, no butterfly joints on this guy. However, still get a lot of range of motion on this. On both, of course, you got the double jointed elbows, wrist swivel. You got a lot of movement out from the chest. I think you even got some bottom. Just kind of move. Legs can split pretty good. Kick front and back really well. Knee bend, of course, with the pants cuff. Doesn't work that well. And of course, you got your legs can do 360s. Of course, you got swivel, go up and down. You even got the toe articulation. One thing I really like is that it's only on the front of the toes, so you kind of get this detail that almost looks like as if you, of course, if you are in stop motion, you can animate him like walking and making him look like every step he takes. You know, his sandals kind of flip flop, and of course, let's just get some details. And they did some very good sculpting on the toes there. Which, of course, it's figuarts. Of course, they're going to do really good with their shading and stuff. Now, overall, this figure, for the low price of 30... I think in total I paid $36 for this Luffy. As a whole, this Luffy definitely. It's very worth it, especially if you plan on buying especially if you bought the if you're buying the Romance Dawn, Nami, Zoro, and Shanks. But of course, like if you're just a fan of One Piece, you haven't collected any of the other figuarts, and it's definitely worth it. But if you are a person that solely has collected the figuarts line and has gotten all the like pre-time skip ones and kind of just doesn't feel like they need to get this in the collection, you don't have to. Um, of course, this is I really wanted to add a Luffy to my collection, and I think this is probably overall could potentially be one of my favorite figures. I remember, I can't remember what figure exactly I said was my favorite, but this has potential to be one of mine. I just love how posable it is, and it, you know, on, on paper, it sounds like this figure is going to be the middest thing ever, but then, because just all the bad things that the other versions had, um, it just sounded like this was going to be the middest figure ever. But yeah, of course, they did kind of fix the issues. Yeah, like the legs actually kind of stay on and stuff. Uh, Overall, this figure, I, I give it a solid, honestly, 8.7 out of 10. Of course, like I said, I do have issues with with switching the heads or the head pieces amongst the one that actually fits straw hat and the one that doesn't. But other than that, I think it really works out for Luffy. And this is a figure that I definitely can see might be the start of a change to the figuarts line. Of course, when I say figuarts line, I mean the One Piece figuarts line. And of course, like another thing that made me think it was going to be early mid figure was the fact that, it's a part of the One Piece figuarts line. As we know, Trafalgar Law had a lot of issues. Oh, that Zoro. Man, don't even get me started on that Zoro. But yeah, other than this, I think that the Shanks has potential to be a really good figure. The Romance Dawn Zoro has a really good potential. Ace has potential to be a good figure. I know Kaido and Yamato were both pretty good figures. They both did kind of have their issues, but yeah. But overall, this Luffy's amazing, and I want to see more of the pre-time skip Straw Hats. We're gonna be seeing we already know we're seeing Nami and we're seeing Zoro and we've seen Luffy. I'd love to see an Usopp and a Sanji and a Frankie would be really cool. And just having, and then of course, we need to add Robin to the figuarts line as well. Because now, before we're even getting, like, adding more characters, we're already getting repeats. We have 3 versions of Luffy, 2 versions of Zoro, technically 4 versions of Luffy, because we have the pre-time skip and time skip version of Luffy. Gear 5 Luffy live action. We technically have 2 versions of Nami, 3 versions of Zoro, with including live actions, and then Zoro, of course, has the pre-time skip and time skip versions of himself. And yeah, this also really gets me excited to see what figuarts can do for the One Piece figures, because I felt that the other figures did not really do that well. And this figure definitely gets my hopes up that the One Piece figuarts line, and just as a whole, just the SH figuarts lines get well. Of course, the Naruto Shippuden line does have multiple new figures, that Tsunade, Pain, Shikamaru, and yeah, I do want to collect more figuarts into my collection. Of course, I have a very small collection of figuarts, and just seeing how good this figure is, it definitely makes me want to check him out more. So with that, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.